Welcome to another edition of Reader's Ponds. Pretty blown away with this one, to be honest. We're up in the sarcastically termed sunny north, where it's been a mixed bag today. A bit of rain, a bit of sunshine, a bit of everything, as it normally is. And yeah, this pond is absolutely mind-blowing. This is the pond of Dave Dodds, and I think a few people have seen this on social media, but wow, it's a true man cave. Absolute credit to the man. And yeah, not a simple journey. This isn't something that's just been knocked up overnight. It's not something that's just had an infinite budget to throw it all in one go. Dave's worked massively hard to produce this over a long period of time and gone through quite an interesting journey as a koi keeper. So yeah, let's speak to the man himself and find out a little bit more about it. What's the story then, Dave? So it's not been a simple journey, not been an overnight one either.
No.
How far into the journey are you?
Probably around 18 years ago.
Yeah.
Neighbour went on holiday, had a small garden pond when the kids were little. Couple 100 gallons. Decided when they were away on holiday with the wife, I would buy one for a surprise, put it in the garden, bought some goldfish.
Yeah.
Come back from the holiday, they more or less died. Back in the day, not really much in it around. Seek some advice. Asked why the koi had passed away.
Yeah.
So it was that the filtration etc. wasn't to spec.
Yeah.
Basically got in touch with the pond builder. Knocked the first pond up about 17 years ago. 1,500 gallon.
Yeah.
Basically half the garden. This was actually decking area.
Yeah.
Builder went away. Had been away about a week. The sale that came in, it wasn't big enough. So I rang the builder back, asked if he'd come and extend it. With the wife's
Nice.
not pleasure, because her deck entry to somewhere there came out. Extended it all the way back to what you see today. So yeah, so the actual pond has been in now about 17 years.
Yeah.
Original filtration I got from a local dealer. Went there for 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Got some sudden news, I lost my dad suddenly. All of a sudden took some work off my dad's company, ran 2 jobs, made more money, decided I would progress it in the next stage of the hobby. At one time I had about 24 koi.
Yeah.
Decided I would sell them or give them away. I lost many in the early days, and just thought I would, at the time, so internet become more accessible,
Yeah.
a lot more information at hand, online, speak to people. Got hold of Queen Koi, spotted my queues, went down, went through the filtration, because I used to have a bubble bead and a sieve.
Yeah.
Up through the night, many a time when the ball valve would jam in the sieve,
Yeah.
2, 3 in the morning, crazy. Drums just came out, whatever, 7 years ago-ish, become more popular anyway. Spoke with Mike, got a drum, spoke to a couple of hobbyists how would do the biological side, as you see behind you with the bio tank in the shower, and just went from there really. Shower's got 110 kilograms of media, 80 kilograms of DHM, 30 kilograms of CSM, and the bio tank behind you's got about 500 litres of K1 in.
Nice.
With a Queen drum. But yeah, it's worked great. So over the last probably, I would say 7 years, I've got more into it.
Yeah.
More into it. Sold koi, giving them away. And every couple of years, buying a koi.
Yeah.
What you see in front of you today isn't work that was over 7 year, 10 year, probably about 12 years work.
Wow.
Ongoing every couple of years. Done the roof, done the sides, probably about 5 years in between them two.
Yeah.
In the last 5 years, the filtration, flagstones, re-fiberglass, window, and finished off last year with the koi sort of conservatory.
The man cave.
Yeah, which I've always wanted, somewhere to hide from the missus on the night time from work. But yeah, a couple of other bits to do in the next couple of years, but I'm nearly there. Yeah, nearly there. But yeah, it's been a bit of a journey. Like I say, when people come in and say it's like, it hasn't just been done in 18 months, 2 years.
Of course,
There's probably a good 10 years of every 2.5 years doing something.
Yeah.
I'm nearly there, yeah. can honestly say I'm probably happy now with everything, and I've learned more about the hobby, more people interact with online, you know, and people's a lot more willing, I think, to help you than the early days, when at the time information was quite hard. You know what I mean? I don't know. There was books there, but there wasn't the amount of people in the hobby just to ask and say, you know, what can I do here, what can I do there? But everything's come together nicely.
So over the time you've been keeping, how do you think your attitude towards koi keeping's changed? What's from you starting out to now?
Yeah, I mean, I lost a lot of fish in the early years, and I think going back when I got the full filtration fisting system done, I got asked about it biological.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I actually said, "What's that?" I didn't even have any, you know, so I had no biological filtration for probably 10 years, you know. But I've always wanted to have jumbo koi and keep big koi of 70 plus.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to have the filtration and the knowledge to do that, rather than just dive straight in and throw the food in, not know what the parameters were.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like well, you're always learning, aren't you? You know, you're always learning.
So how do you, the collection you've got today is a stunning collection. It's well balanced. I think it's nice to see good mix of varieties and bits and bobs in there. But are these all fish that have been purchased small and been grown on, or do you buy them bigger to begin with? What's your sort of thought process when you're looking at new
I went
fish?
through many years of buying Tosai. Okay, it was on the old filtration. I didn't have much luck. When I look back now, the filtration wasn't really set up, I think, to prolong a koi, to be honest with you. So I learned the hard way, like most hobbyists do. You know, I learned the hard way. I lost, you know, a lot of koi at the time. And then when I've done the filtration system and spoke to, you know, more people that had more experience, I went to buy in this eye. I think a bit stronger, personally, for me, a bit stronger in the body. I'm not saying you can't grow Tosai, because you can, but for me, normally 2 years, normally this eye up, and I normally feel like I have less problems. Or if I have a problem, it's easier to get around the problem. You know what I mean, if that makes sense. But every koi in there is ranging from 2 year to, I would say, 6. Size wise, Ashira I got back in the winter, I would say anything from 51, 52 to mid 80s. But yeah, I would say in this eye, I don't touch Tosai now. There's 40 in there at the moment, and I'm quite happy.
What was it with the Tosai, other than obviously taking losses, or what was it, just not delivering the quality that you wanted?
I think I wanted the size. I wanted to see the koi straight away. Do you know what I mean? I think if I had another pond to grow them on, I would certainly have Tosai, not a problem. But I think I wanted to see the fish at the window, you know, not small. I wanted them, you know, I wanted within a season to be, I don't know, 55, 60 plus at the end of the first year, and hopefully try and get them all to 70 plus. Just something about big koi.
There is.
Tosai, I don't know why. I just, to me, something, I don't know, I've got 2 jobs. I work long hours, coming in and seeing a koi that I can see as a presence, rather than weight.
They behave differently as well, don't they? They're a lot more graceful, I think a lot more calming. Even just to watch these now, they're chilled, aren't they? They're chilled.
You haven't got that skitty kind of, you know, rushing around.
Tosai are crazy.
I mean, even when they feed, they don't go crazy. You know what I mean? They never, I don't know, they never rush and knock each other off food, put it that way. I mean, I've got a balance of 50-50 sink and growth. But yeah, just a lot more for me chilled. If I had more time, I think, to be around them and grow a Tosai and maybe be on them a bit more, I would say possibly, you know, I would have done that. But because I work the main job and because I'm self-employed as well, I'm literally out of work a lot of time. And like I say, I just feel like I need something to come back and see rather than grow.
I think the Tosai journey is an interesting one, because obviously that's something I'm heavily involved in. It's a big part of my business. But they're great for learning. They're really great for learning. I think if you're into building a collection like you've got and you really want to get there and not be having to offload fish every year and all the rest of it, what you're doing in buying this eye is the right move, hands down. Tosai is very much a numbers game. You know, it's not a case of you can't just buy one a year like you could fish like this. You need to be probably buying 10 in hope of getting that one. And I think it's smart what you're doing for sure.
I mean, back in the early days, I was buying 5, 8, 7 a year, Tosai, and You know, I didn't have much luck. You know, and I found within 2 years I possibly lost half of them.
Yeah.
You know, okay, you know, the filtration wasn't what it should have been, but as I got more into filtration, and when I revamped the whole pond 7 years ago, I don't know, you've got to feel like you could buy better koi, to be more confident that you could keep them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Agreed.
Rather than spend decent money on a toss eye being 50-50 gamble that you would see the next year.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel a lot more confident that, you know, I can buy an this eye and it will get better.
Yeah.
It certainly won't lose its presence. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, you may get a little, you know, rogue bit of Benny or whatever, but it's still nice koi. Where a toss eye can change dramatically, you know. But yeah,
this is what I find fascinating with koi keeping. It's each their own, isn't it? You know, Tosai for Phil, it's the Tosai dream.
Yeah.
Even for me, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But I understand it's a tough. My expectations are fully managed in that, you know, I know I can grow. In order to probably raise 1 or 2 good Nisai, I need 100 to 200 Tosai to do it. That's the reality. But for a hobbyist to have resources like that to do it, it's just not really
I mean,
possible.
in the early days, you know, when I got into the hobby, I didn't have the money, so you know, I went on the best which I could afford.
Yeah.
Again, as unfortunately how my life changed, you know, and life progressed, and you know, I run 2 jobs now, and you know, I've got my own business outside of that job, and I work a lot of the time. It gives me more finances to buy the better koi when the time was right. So again, what you see isn't, you know, what was there for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, it was a good 10 year where I did buy koi for £90, £150. You know what I mean? It wasn't what you see today. You know, so I've done both sides of the journey. Do I think with money you buy your koi to last longer? It's like anything, you've got to look after them right and be on top of them. Personally, I do think, you pay more money, in my opinion, you get a better koi. You know, like most things in life. And again, I've lived both sides of the hobby. You know, I bought koi under £100, under £400. I've also bought koi at a higher spectrum in recent years. And certainly, I'm not saying you won't get a toss out to grow like that, but I think you've got a better chance, personally.
That's exactly the point. It's literally the number. If you look at the amount, you know, if a breeder puts 100 Tosai out to a mud pond, the very most 10% of them will make it onto the next year.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you're playing with, and it's just not the kind of risks, you know, that hobbyists want to be taking, really. I don't think so.
No, I would agree. Yeah, I would agree. Like I said, it's not a snobby kind of end of it. I see some comments, you know, on the internet, and like I say, I have lived both sides of the hobby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Really.
I did spend on 10 years with not what I've got today. You know.
Yeah.
Through hard work, I've got what I've got today, but that wasn't what I got in the first 10 years. You know, which some people find that hard to believe. But this wasn't done in 18 months.
No.
You know, it's many years of hard work, and every year or two just buying, what I said before, maybe 1 koi.
Yeah.
Not buying 6.
That takes a lot of discipline as well, doesn't it? Really.
It does.
I know for me, you know, buying new koi still, it's just a bit. I'm out of control with still, to be fair. So, hats off to you for managing to stay disciplined like that.
It's hard. It's hard. I mean, I had in my head it's pond 2,900 gallons. I had 28, possibly for 10 years.
Yeah.
I'll buy 6 a year, probably lose 4, buy more, lose them, keep buying them. Then I just thought, you know, one day I would like to buy 1 koi at rather than buy 5.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of give myself in my head possibly 7 years to have a collection that I've always dreamt of. And I've worked for probably 7, 8 years and bought 1 or 2 koi every winter to get what I've got today. And probably going to the next winter, got 14, quite happy. I'm quite happy. Bought 1 or 2 last winter. Certainly if I had any that I didn't want, I wouldn't give away, because to me they're too good of a koi to give away. I'll probably look to move on, you know. Where in the early days that wasn't the case. They were good pond fellas, you know. But again, everyone starts in the hobby somewhere, you know. And again, I've been there and I've done, you know, the learning curve and lost. I'm not saying I don't lose a koi, but I haven't lost any for a lot of years, you know. And so, I do believe.
Having known some of the breeders of the fish you've got in here, is the breeder that the fish comes from important to you? Is that a part of the process now that adds value? Because you've got some pretty heavy hitting breeders in there who, for the varieties, you've got a sort of specialist in them varieties as
Yeah,
well?
I do look. Yes, I do look now. Yeah, Sakai, Osmako, Marisi. Yeah, I probably do. I mean, if I was going to go for a variety now, I probably would look for that one or two breed out in that variety.
Yeah.
Where again, back in the day, it was like, that looks nice. I'd never asked any questions. I just, you know, if I liked it, I just took it. Where now I will, because I'm spending more money, I will dive and I will ask more questions. You know, I will look more into the history. You know,
Rightly so.
But I think, again, if a breeder's got a good reputation in variety, you've got a better chance, in my opinion, of growing into something special.
Absolutely.
Rather than just someone diving in and, I don't know, specialising in 10 varieties. You know, as you know, when you do them, you know, one breeder specialises in maybe one or two, and that's what I was trying to go for now. If I was going to pick one, you know.
I think that's when you do progress to that part of the hobby, and you are spending more money. This is things that I think everybody should start looking into, because, as you say, you know, you're looking at wanting to build a collection, not having to swap and change fish all the time. There are ways that you can. Koi are fairly predictable in the way they develop when you understand the breeder, the bloodline, and the qualities and what's going off. But yeah, you're right. I think it's a really nice approach to what you're doing.
Yeah, I think when I buy a koi today, it's not. I buy it not for short term.
Yeah.
I buy a koi today that I want it to improve and have many years out of.
Yeah.
Earlier years of koi keeping, as a koi, and I didn't like it. I moved it on, or unfortunately it maybe passed away because, you know, the filtration wasn't correct, or etc. But back in the early days, I didn't really test water, etc. You know what I mean? Again, in recent years, I've become a lot more involved in trying to look after things better.
Yeah.
You know, it's which is same about most things in life, isn't it? You know.
What's your favourite fish in there then, Dave? I know mine.
Yeah. I think I would say the Secret Sankey.
Yeah.
Purchased from Make Hughes Queen Koi around probably 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think it was an autumn harvest fish, not sure. But yeah, last measure was, do believe, early 80s, about 80 cm.
Yeah.
Last year. Fantastic Sankey, never give us any problems at all. Certainly a breeder that I would look to go for again, without a doubt.
Yeah. He is, for people who don't know, the Secret Sankey, it's a small hobbyist breeder called Takano, and that guy honestly is phenomenal. Nothing more. His actual day, I don't know if you know, his daytime job is a mud pond constructor.
Right,
He's not a commercial breeder in any way, shape or form, and he very proudly says, "No, I'm not a koi breeder.
Wow.
You know, I'm a mud pond constructor." When you see somebody who's not, I'm not a professional koi breeder, producing fish like he does, only Sankey, not a thing. If you see one or two other fish, it'd be something he's bought from somewhere, but phenomenal, honestly. I've never seen such a thing. And the fish house as well, fascinating.
Wow.
He's built under his house. So I was driving past it for years until I was introduced by a friend out there. So we're driving past it for years. Just saw this old dilapidated Nexus on the side of the road, must be one of the few in Niigata. And got introduced. You walk down this big slope, you go in one door, and he's got 2 ponds where you can barely stand up without bumping your head. 3 ponds, sorry, which are below, they're basically in his basement. And then you come out of there, go down another level, and under those ponds, there are 2 more ponds. Crazy little setup, but that's where you see he's invested so much in what he does, and just phenomenal.
But from day one getting up, body's been first class.
That's the big trait.
Never, just one of them kois, but being a presence in the pond, and every year seems to be improving. Yeah. Every year.
He used a lot of Sakai blood in his fish, and that it shows. And as well as that, back in the very original origins, it's not something you can see with that fish. You see it in quite a few, mainly in some males as well. Because you use Matsunosuke to begin with, is it gets a gin in the edge of the scale. It's not quite like ginrin, just a part of this. It's almost like the Matsunosuke gin it used to be called from many years ago. And you're a lucky bloke to have one of them fish. There's not many around. He don't produce that many, but incredible.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I mean, I don't show, but I think it would give some Sankeys who went for the money in the show. I believe it would. I really do. You know. I mean, it's everyone's prerogative regarding shows. It's not for me personally, but yeah, good luck to anyone that does it. But yeah, it's a fantastic koi. So probably the Secret Sankey, I would say, Ricky, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's other koi in there I do like as well, but I think as a presence and as a full koi from, front to back, I would say, yeah.
They're an interesting one, Sankey, because the most common thing I hear people say about them is they don't understand Sankey. That's a comment I never really truly understand either, because when you get a good Sankey, they really are a sight to behold. Of all the Go Sankey, I think show are mighty popular these days, I think, because I think the unpredictable nature of them. But yeah, Sankey are one for me.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree.
Right. So yeah, I think the next bit, we take a look under your skirt if we can, Dave, and have a look in your filter house, mate.
Not a problem at all.
Yeah, just talk us through what's running at the heart of the pond then, Dave.
Yeah, we've got a heat pump there,
Yeah.
7 kilowatt Dura.
Yeah.
I use that from May to October.
Yeah.
And then I've got a combi boiler in the house that feeds heat exchanger. Electric goes off, gas goes on in the winter months. And that's from October to around April.
Makes sense. Use the heat pump at its most efficient
Temperature-wise,
period.
I try and get 20 to 23 degrees in the summer.
Yeah.
Winter months, last year I was on a fixed rate at Christmas, so I was on 20 degrees till Christmas Day.
Yeah.
This year, probably looking at 12 to 15.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah. I think 12 is a nice temperature to be keeping them at. I don't foresee anybody needing to keep it much warmer than that, to be honest.
No, you see, I took used to the fixed rate last year because I was on a fixed rate with energy prices, and what I spent, it didn't cost any more money, so I literally fed into Christmas. I'm very busy at work from September to next May.
Yeah.
Not in great deals, so I think this year probably about 12. Just keep them ticking over,
Nice.
But yeah, again, early years, I didn't have the money and I didn't have the.
Yeah.
In the early years, it was ambient. I didn't heat them. I do think it gives you a more steady.
I was just going to ask, what do you think it's added to the hobby for you, heating? Because obviously it's an investment for any koi keeper to make, but for me it can add a serious different dimension to koi keeping.
Yeah, I found the early years when it wasn't heated, they wanted to throw more.
Yeah.
They weren't moving around much.
Yeah.
I think I say I had that for probably 10 years, the first 10 years of koi keeping. The last 7, 8 years I've tried to, heat them. And I do find, it keeps them off the bottom, less saws, etc. underneath, and just keeps them moving. So again, I've done both sides of the hobby, and in my opinion, I think it's better having them, not saying fully active, but certainly moving around a bit more.
Heating in summer more so, for me, I think is the smart move for people.
Yeah, I won't disagree with that.
I think trying to raise what you're doing there, you're not really going to do it without. I mean, look at it today. It's 1st of July and it's awful. Yeah. And getting the magical 23, 24, 25, you need to really raise koi effectively. It's a pipe dream, really.
Yeah, I've been on. It's on 20.5 at the moment, so I'm probably between 20 and 21. On the nice day, it's 21. It'll stop on that until we get temperatures, 23 plus. But as a rule, it's on 20, 21. At the moment, I'm not feeding that heavy. If I do feed heavy, it's probably up to 8 minutes a day and 23 degrees. 16 feeds a day, if and when I get to that stage. At the minute, we haven't had the heat, so it will stop at 20, 21. And at the moment, I'm on 3 to 5 minutes, about 8 feeds, which keeps them ticking over. Winter time, if I stop feeding, it's normally for 5 weeks or so. I've done both sides. I've stopped feeding, also fed them once a day.
Yep.
In my opinion, again, feeding them once or twice a day, just small amounts. In winter at 10, 12 is better than not touching them, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Again, it's just
I agree with you.
It's people's preference, but again, I've noticed a difference coming into spring a bit more on it than struggling. Yep. It just keeps things ticking over a bit more, in my opinion.
Don't know about you, mate, but I can't last a few hours without a meal.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, let's have a look in here then. This is the bit people really do like to see.
Yeah.
And just talk us through what you've got going on.
Yeah, I've got the Queen drum, QK35, one bottom drain into the drum, So it comes down Aqua Max 16,000, which runs up to the heat pump and back down on the return in the corner. The problem I had when I upgraded 8 years ago, because this is the original pond and the original filtration was in here.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's 16 foot. It's a long run from here to the shower.
Yeah.
So when we designed the system to put in the shower and the bio, I started off, I think it was a 20,000 litre pump,
Yeah.
and it didn't touch a side. Hence the investment. Let's stop. Excuse me.
Perfect timing.
Hence the investment in the Blue Eco 500 to give us the power to push the water from there on a 3-inch all the way up to the shower.
Yeah.
That's currently running at 1500 RPM. The option was a Blue Eco 500 overflow friend. That was the cheap option because I was never going to be able to push 2000 plus RPM on the one I've got because it wouldn't run the level of the drum and it would air lock. So I went for it wasn't cheap, but I went for the cheaper pump and got the Blue Eco. Touch wood, never flickered in 6 years. Never flickered. In winter time, I'll turn that down to probably around 1300.
Yeah.
But then in the height of season, it's on 15. So yeah, additions last winter was heat exchanger, fed from the combi boiler in the loft.
Yeah.
So I've got the option of both. As I said, winter time, gas, summertime, heat pump.
Yeah.
Massive addition. That really, really improved having Koya 15 plus at 1 degree in the winter. Massive. Yeah. I couldn't highly recommend it enough, to be fair. But yeah, again, since I've done the filtration, added bits onto it. Profi feeder is in the corner, my little low lab. It's funny actually you mentioned TDS, it doesn't bother me, I don't look at it. That's just more for pH and temperature. You know, it doesn't bother me that. Wi-Fi on my phone, just for temperature wise, etc. I've also got CCTV to my phone, which actually tells me if the drum's low.
I love that.
So I can access my phone anytime at work.
Yeah.
If the lights aren't on full, I know there's a problem.
Yeah, that's incredible. Incredible.
So that's a good little idea I've only once that just goes against the light. Again, over the years, I've added the cartridges, various bits in there.
Awesome.
You know what? I'm quite lucky. I don't have really bad water. It's not too bad. So you know, I know it's a big thing at the moment, but up to now I don't have any problems.
Yeah, I think that's always with the water. You've got to see what's going on, and there's nothing there in your pond indicating any kind of issues going on. So
I test, but I don't get too involved, Ricky. I don't dive in too much. I try and keep things simple as I can.
I like that.
Reason, you know, I haven't got time when I was at work. You know.
Yeah.
It's quite a big thing at the moment, isn't it? On on how far you go in, but you know, a lot of it's because I haven't got the time. I think if I had more time, I may fiddle around and do a bit, a little bit more. But
I think time's a lot of people's enemy in koi keeping, though, because then you are adding layers of complication. And let's face it, look at what you've done with the simplicity so far.
I mean, yes, I check the water. I mean, I don't do it every day. Maybe it's once a week, once a fortnight. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I say, this used to be a bead and a sieve, so this has all been turned around. That's why things are a little bit tight access.
Yeah.
Because it was an upgrade of an old system.
Yeah.
And like I see, even the pond today, you see that hole there, that's actually 17-year-old.
Yeah. I've had the same thing retrofitting. It's not easy, is it, when you want to make improvements working what you've got, but you find a way.
Yeah. We've got there, like I said, every couple of years I've done something. Nothing left to do in here, I'm happy with it.
So last couple of questions then. What advice would you give to people watching this, starting out in koi keeping, or maybe even in the first few years?
Yeah, I would say walk before you can run. I probably wouldn't, like I say, I had a big change in my life, which accessed more work to me and make more money.
Yeah.
But I spent 10 years not in that stage. So, people say, snobs, or there's a snobby end of the hobby. I think if you have the money and the funds available, I think you probably would dive in and go. Yeah. But if you haven't, don't panic. Yeah. You know what I mean? Start off from the basics, learn the basics. I learned the hard way. for many years, and the last 6 years, 7 years, I've sort of every year progressed a little bit further where I want to be. Yeah, that would be my advice, really. Don't look at other people and think, I want that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I mean, steady away. You don't have to,
Patience.
Yeah.
Big word, that one.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. Like I say, what you see today isn't, this wasn't done in 6 months. It was a long time of a little bit, at a time. I think when people understand that, it probably gives them an idea, where to begin, rather than think, I want that now, but that'll be my advice, yeah.
Yeah, that's off to you. And you're a subscriber to Koi Talk magazine.
Yes, yeah.
How's that been for you?
I enjoy it. I got the little Koi mag many years ago.
Yeah.
And it was just nice to read when I had 5 minutes. But yeah, I enjoy it. Again, it's got different sides in the magazine. Of, high-end ponds, people starting out, etc. So it's good for all levels.
Yeah,
I like it.
Something we really worked hard on,
I
to
like
be honest with you.
I think the magazine's like something to koi keep. It doesn't have to be full of page after page of expensive things to get and do. You know what I mean? It's got a nice variety of both, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.